Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous good-looking friends. Prince Harry is off to a fabulous start. Prince Harry had the balls to not show up in court today. Even though he wasn't presenting or giving his testimony, there was a chance that they would have began that. And the judge had said and gave direction earlier that the witnesses should be available the day before their evidence was due to be heard in this case. And he decides to just not show up, even though knowing about it. Some journalists are speculating that this was planned by Harry's legal team in order to reduce the time that Harry had to be questioned by the Mirror Group. And here's the excuse. Harry's lawyer reveals that Harry flew in yesterday from Los Angeles after attending his daughter's birthday party. Obviously, the judge was not amused, and the lawyer for the Mirror Group thought it was absolutely extraordinary that he was not even available for day one of his own trial. I mean, seriously, the arrogance of the excuse that Harry's lawyer gave as to why he just didn't show up today was because Harry is considered to be in a different category to his co-claimants owing to travel and security arrangements. He also then claimed that his presence on court was not important because it was never anticipated that the openings would not take the whole day. So Harry knew that he was scheduled to be here to testify. And knowing that this is your lawsuit, and you would think he would want to win it, would be here to see what is going on and what had been said in order to be prepared for tomorrow. Let's remember that Harry flew in on a whim when he didn't really need to be there. He could have joined via video conference, but felt the need to show his face in front of the whole world and get papped to make what point? And now today, when it really counts, he just decides, I'm not going to show up because, hey, I flew in late and I might be a little hungover if that party was a bender. Wink, wink. Anyhow, I find this like so arrogant, and his blatant display of entitlement and disrespecting the court and wasting people's time and money. And here's the messed up thing. The judge specifically stated the openings would not take the whole day, which is why he directed that the first witness be available. The Mirror Group's lawyer was infuriated, and he pushed back by saying that he needed at least a day and a half to go through the cross-examination with Harry, and the timing now allotted left was unreasonable. So thank goodness the judge saw what was going on here, and he stated that he was not going to restrict him to just a day and gave the Mirror Group the day and a half needed to go through the 33 articles with Prince Harry for this cross-examination. So whatever plan that Prince Harry had in his mind or his lawyers had in mind, it backfired. And this doesn't look good on him. And I think that tomorrow he's going to be crucified, in my opinion. So let's go through some of the highlights in the court case today. So for the most part, this was all about the opening statements for both parties. And David Sherborne begins, this is Harry's lawyer, opens up with the premise that unlawful information gathering was carried out on a widespread scale across a period from 1999 to 2006. There are 33 articles that are being focused in this case pertaining to Prince Harry, in which they're saying that the means of gathering information had essentially been illegal and it had affected his life. So as they go through, David Sherborne is making the assumption that what had been printed by various news outlets was a result of this kind of hacking, which I think is kind of amateur because he's making this accusation, but none of the journalists that wrote those articles are giving any kind of evidence in this case to support that. Mr. Sherborne says, in quotes, clear there are the same sorts of articles with the same telltale signs written by the same journalists. So he's essentially making this assumption that all these articles was a result of these journalists hacking. So in Harry's defense, David Sherborne stating that nothing was sacrosanct or out of bounds on Prince Harry's life. And as a young boy and the period after his mom's death, it was difficult for him to navigate through his teenage years and becoming a young adult, trying to form these normal relationships. It just became difficult with this intrusion. Now, I'm going to have some empathy here. Not a whole lot, but some. We can't possibly know what his life or walking in his shoes must have felt like. He had a unique situation, just like his brother, in where his life in those awkward years had been photographed and written about. Now, the one thing all of us can identify with is that we've all gone through these awkward teen years. And I can't imagine if my whole life was plastered for the world to see as I'm learning, growing, and getting to know who I am as a person and discovering life. We cannot say that this didn't affect him mentally, but we also have to recognize that his brother also went through it as well and probably was subjected to the same mental torment of having this happen to you. Like, this is mortifying. Imagine having this on the front page of every newspaper around the world. Like, it could not have been easy if you're in your teens and this is happening to you. So essentially, the first half of this hearing, they pretty much were going through talking about the Mirror Group journalists listening to Princess Diana's voicemail while Piers Morgan was the editor, and also going through and talking about the letters that Princess Diana wrote to Michael Barrymore about the struggles that he had coming out as gay, in which Diana had revealed their conversations have been made public. And in the morning session, they were reading parts of that out in court. This is a summary for the first half. After lunch, they come back. So they come back from lunch, and David Sherborne continues to present these articles and begins talking about how these private investigators would then start to look at Harry's friend network and essentially start tapping them to hope to get some kind of information. Other examples that they were bringing up were arguments between him and his brother and leaving Harry pretty much paranoid because he recognized that there's only a close group of people that knew about some of the things that were being disclosed in the media, thus provoking a mistrust between he and his brother, and then also the impact that this had on his relationship with the love of his life, Chelsea Davy. They do cite that the constant stream of news articles about himself and his ex-girlfriend just kind of made it more difficult for him to make the relationship work because of this kind of stress. Yes, granted, they had problems in addition to this media intrusion, but I think that it exacerbated it and thus didn't make it worthwhile for Chelsea to be under this constant scrutiny. And then also, however, he was treating her. And at this point, David Sherborne gets his hand slapped for running the clock down because he's gone over now his 3 hours allotted time and had indicated that he was going to continue to keep talking for another 25 minutes, at which the judge said, you know what, you need to stay to the timetable. So he ended up wrapping up, and then Mirror Group then takes over to give their opening statement. So Andrew Green, who is representing for this side, then goes into saying that the burden of proof lies squarely with Prince Harry and that there is no evidence to support his extensive claims. They go into positioning that the invoices from the private investigators do not demonstrate unlawful conduct or that journalists were aware of unlawful conduct. And then they also position and claim that there was no evidence to suggest that Prince Harry's phone for the last 16 years had been hacked. From what I gather, reading various news outlets, the ones that are middle of the road, is that the Mirror Group has presented a really strong case around demonstrating that Harry has no evidence of these claims that he is bringing forth, accusing the mirror group of doing. So tomorrow, Harry's definitely going to be put in the hot seat. And he is so stupid for not showing up today, at least to get a lay of the land, to hear the other side's position in order to prepare himself in order to handle this tomorrow. I don't think he fully understands what's coming at him, but oh, wait, hold on. Do you hear that? I think that's the karma train coming through. Choo choo! Choo choo! Something tells me that this is going to be a slaughter tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think Rachel Zane is going to be able to save the day on this one. So, what do you guys think? I think personally that not showing up today not only left a bad taste in the judge's mouth, but it also infuriated the mirror group. So I think tomorrow they're going to be extra nasty. But I'm here for it. So leave your comments below. As always, I will be back for sure with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
It was such a fraud.